Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the sound test stream. Today we are taking a look at the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. So it's 2 in, 2 out audio interface for your, well, it's for anything for your Mac desktop. I'm using it with the iPad. So I'm going to show you various setup things you can do, different things, how great it sounds, you know, so that you can see what goes on at the front here. I guess you have 2 1/4-inch inputs, also double up as XLR inputs. You can select between line and instruments if you need a power boost, and you have gain controls with halo lights that lights up. You can direct monitor on and off, and this is your main monitor mix. You'll see, and this is your headphone. You can plug headphones in and monitor from the headphones, and you have an independent volume control for your headphones. And round the back, we have the USB interface and 2 line outputs for left and right. Very simple. Takes its power from the iPad. You will need one of these if you want to use it with your iPad. Otherwise, it won't work because it draws too much power. And the way Apple have set these up now, so but these are great and super cool and very well worth the money. I think they're about 30 quid to get good audio and have your iPad charge at the same time. I think it's worth it. Okay, so first of all, for the purposes of this demo, I am going to plug in my left and right main outputs, which are going into my Behringer mixer, which you can't see. This is really only because we're making a video and you want to hear the audio from the video, and it's easier to do it this way. You don't need this. You can monitor everything through the headphones when you're working just with the iPad. You basically ignore what I've just done. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is plug in our USB, our CCK3 USB from Apple. I'm going to get some power to that from here, so it starts to charge the iPad. And then I'm going to plug in the nice red cable you get with the Focusrite USB. I mean, any USB cable will do. And that will go into the iPad. And you will see as soon as I plug this in now, it will power on. It's hitting phantom power off. So it has phantom power for your condenser mics as well. Okay. So that's done. So we have power. So best thing to do is make sure everything's turned down before you start plugging stuff into it. What I'm going to do for the first demo is I'm going to run a synthesizer, a hardware synth. I'm going to use a Roland Gaia. Again, you can't see this, but it really doesn't matter. For the purposes of the demo, who cares, Okay, so we can do this and this. So Gaia's stereo outputs are going into the Focus right now, and I've got to leave it set online for both of these. It doesn't really matter, you'll just get a power boost. If it's a guitar, it's a bit low, you need to boost it up a little bit. It doesn't matter. Okay, for the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open AUM. When it finally opens. There you go. And I'm going to set up one channel just for the purposes of this. Now you'll see straight away it says USB at the bottom here as the output. Okay, that's because now the Focusrite is completely taken over the iPad's audio for everything. If you're watching YouTube or whatever you're doing, as long as this is plugged in, this will be your audio. So what we need to do is select this here hardware input, and we're going to choose the Scarlett 2i2 left and right because left and right channels are selected. We can choose either left or right if we're recording mono instruments. I'll show you that as well. So we can select this, and now I should have sound come through from my synth. Now I'm going to set up the levels now. So I'm just going to turn up the synth a little bit. Okay, and then turn up this monitoring. Okay, so we're going to now adjust our levels to suit. Now you can keep an eye on the halo. So that's a good level, you know, but if you're playing a bit more dynamically, maybe it might go a bit much. So that's absolutely fine. You can control the overall monitoring levels here, but it won't affect the input levels, okay? That's basically for you. And of course, we've got direct monitoring turned off, so our volume is now controlled by AUM. And now, of course, we can apply effects, etc., etc. Okay, so let's just clear this one for a start off, and let's do something else. Now, let's say, for instance, we want to record. I'm going to turn these down so because I'm going to change inputs in a second. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to leave them as they are. Say, for instance, we want to record maybe some synthesizers and you know, some external hardware and some internal stuff at the same time. Well, to do that, that's quite easy too. But what you're going to need is something else. What we've got here, let me just see if I can see it's around the back here. Okay, so we're going to use this, and it's this is just it's an Atola. It's a powered USB, so it's plugged in at the moment. So all I need to do, and you can do some great stuff with this, let me unplug the Scarlett from there, and I'm going to plug in the USB, the powered USB, to where the actual Scarlett was plugged in. There you go, like this. And now I'm going to plug in the Scarlett to the powered USB. I'm going to turn it on as well. This one has a power, some of them don't. Right, now you see that the Scarlett is now receiving its power from the powered hub. Okay, which is great. And my iPad's still charging, of course, because it's plugged in. And my Gaia is still plugged in here, right? And I need to set that up again. So no, I needn't have actually done that, but we're going to do this. Okay, so that's fine. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my Oxygen MIDI keyboard, or any MIDI, whatever MIDI keyboard you're using. I'm going to plug in that. Oh, God, you know, I've got USB cables everywhere. This is for my Oxygen keyboard, so I'm going to plug that in to the powered USB as well and switch that on. So now I've got my Oxygen keyboard plugged into the hub, and this is the beauty of having a powered hub as well. So if I open up another channel now, and I'm going to choose another unit extension, and I'm going to choose SynthMaster ONE, since I'm playing a lot with SynthMaster ONE at the moment. I'm going to open this and choose some sort of arpeggio. I don't know what. Just let's see. Anyway, so what I can do now is let's move that out of the way. What I can do is take this, open that there, those little three dots, and route SynthMaster ONE to my Oxygen keyboard, because the iPad is now recognizing the two inputs from the hub as well. It's recognizing the Scarlett as the audio interface there, and it's also recognizing the audio being plugged into it from here, because bearing in mind everything from the powered hub is now going into the dongle here for this. So now if I turn this down and turn it back up, you will hear that so now I can play both my Roland Gaia synth, which is plugged in, and also the SynthMaster ONE at the same time. And then on and on, I could plug another 2 in actually. So I could plug a pad controller in or something else. Right, okay. So that's that part. Right. Okay, so we're going to just start again now. Now I'm going to leave the power plugged in. I'm going to leave the MIDI keyboard plugged in as well. So that's absolutely fine. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just make sure that I turn my monitoring down and everything, because I am now going to unplug the Gaia. Because we are done with this now. We are done with the Roland Gaia. So what we're going to do now is something else. I am going to unplug my condenser mic here. And actually, I'm going to just let me clear out that session. And for the purposes of this session, we're going to use Cubasis. So I'm just going to open up, it'll be a blank project, I think. I think I set one up called Focusrite, which was blank. Yeah, there we go. So this is blank. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn this microphone off a sec and then plug it into the Focusrite and you'll hear it again. Okay, so now you're hearing the XLR. Now, all I had to do there is plug it in, obviously, and you can see I'm getting a signal. Now, you may be hearing, I'm hearing a slightly doubling, very, very slightly. So you can adjust this to suit. But when you record the audio, you won't get that at all. So now what I've got, you can see, is my condenser mic being routed through Cubasis, and you set that up. All you need to do in Cubasis is open it up, and because the Focusrite is controlling the audio in, I've got this on mono input because it's just coming through this one channel here. Okay, and messing with instruments and line won't make any difference with phantom powers taking over this channel, so it's okay. So you can adjust your levels to suit a gain like this, you know, and if you go too far, you'll clip red, and then you can adjust the overall monitoring with this one as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take my mono synth over here. Okay, so I'm going to plug in my Arturia Mini Brute, which is a mono synth. Okay, so we can plug that in. And we're going to open up another audio channel here like this. And I'm going to arm it so you can hear it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, right, this is, I have to be careful here, hang on. Right, so now we want to go mono 1 2. When you first open it, we'll default to mono channel 1, so it will have then sent my, sorry about that, so it will then send my microphone through audio track 2 as well, and you don't want that. Switch it off, look, you won't hear anything. But for this one now, mono input, and we want to select channel 2. So if you've got like an interface with 6 or 8, you know, you can have all these set up like this. This has only got 2 inputs. At this point, I must say a massive thanks to Stan Freeman, a friend of mine in Liverpool, who sent me the Focusrite. So top job and brilliant. Thank you, Stan. So awesome of you to do that. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but you know, he's a top geezer, he's Stan. Right, okay, so the point is now that we can control our other mono instrument, be it a guitar or another vocal mic or a synth in this case. So there it is. I'll just set that arpeggiator to lock. And we've got control over our mix of our mic and our synth now. So we're just going to record over. Sorry, I sort of started talking. We're recording my voice now and the synth. And stop that. And switch the synth off as well. Now, let's see. We can stop monitoring. No, we don't want to stop monitoring that. You won't hear me. Okay, so I'm going to. You can see that was quite a dry signal. It should have been boosted more, but you know the good thing is we can always normalize it if we want to. However, the point of this is I'm going to stop monitoring this and play this. So we're just going to record over. Sorry, I sort of started talking. We're recording my voice now and the synth. So that's how you can. It's pretty a bit loud, isn't it? That's how you can monitor. That's how you can record two independent channels using the Focusrite as well. And it's all very simple, and it all just works perfectly, and it sounds great, you know. So it's a marvelous thing. It opens up so many possibilities. I mean, you can base any audio you like. You can plug into there, and then you can just make some adjustments with this and this. I mean, you might want it to, like, for instance, with the line instrument. Well, let me just see if I can run this back through. So there's the little mini brute there. So it's online at the moment. You see, it goes considerably louder. So you might have a guitar with, I think, is it low impedance on the pickups or something? Anyway, doesn't matter. But the point is, if it's not an active guitar sort of thing, you might want to put it on instruments and it'll boost it or whatever, you know, or if it's not a phantom powered mic or anything. So that's the thing. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, I think, is a marvelous, marvelous thing. And it works so flawlessly and simple. So if you're considering a audio interface for your iPad or iDevice, couple of things. I would get the Focusrite is great for the 2-in, and I think they do a 4i4 as well. They may even do an 8i8. But you know, for the little time that I actually use to record actual hardware instruments in, this is absolutely perfect because I would just do it one at a time, sort of thing. Another trick is, it's not a trick, is it? You know, I'm not a magician. Another tip would be to, if you've got a small mixer, now I've got this quite small mixer, but I've got an even smaller mixer, a smaller Behringer. You could it doesn't even need to be a USB mixer here. This is a good thing because you can just plug the outputs of the mixer into the Focusrite, and then you can leave all your instruments plugged into the mixer and just record them one at a time. You know, you've got all these settings set up and stuff. But like I said, important things to get here are the Apple CCK3. Well, it's a little bit more expensive, but honestly, it's not going to mess up. The cheaper ones, so some of them will work and some of them won't, but you've kind of wasted your money if they don't. And if you want to run more than one USB in a USB MIDI hub, get a powered one. This was only cheap, honestly. It was like less than 20 quid, and it works absolutely fine. There's no noise, nothing like that. It's quiet, you know. Anyway, excuse me. Listen, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'm monitoring now completely through the Focusrite, the vocal. So yes, brilliant. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, and again, thanks, Stan. You are a top man and a splendid fellow. You really are. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel or consider becoming a Patreon, please. It's very, very helpful and important. And yeah, awesome. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.